Welcome tonight inside Platt Arena. It may be cold outside, Caleb, but it is nice and cozy and warm inside, and the action on the floor will be equally as hot as the Huntington Foresters take on the Indiana Wesleyan Wildcats. Again, I'm Eric Benton alongside Caleb Overfelt tonight. Glad to have you back, Caleb, and what a game for you to come back on. The second game since the break during non-conference for non-conference play. We're back into the Crossroads League now, and this is going to be a whale of a matchup.
Right. It's always exciting whenever Indiana Wesleyan comes to town, especially when both teams are playing as well as they are this season. We have two top 20 teams. We're going at it today, and it's going to be an exciting game.
Huntington comes in ranked number 20. IWU is at number 15 right now. They've got off to a good start, started 9-1 on the season, but since then, Caleb, they've gone 3-3 and only 2-2 in Crossroads League play.
Right, and they struggled a little bit. Their last loss coming against Marion, who also gave Huntington some trouble, and really both of those games really came down to the wire, and fortunately Huntington was able to come up on the positive side of that with that big Shane Merriman shot that made national news. Unfortunately, Indiana Wesleyan wasn't so lucky, and they were able to they fell to Marion that day. But both these teams have played really well in the league, but have struggled during some moments, and it's going to be a really tough game today, I think, for both of these teams.
Let's take a look now at your Crossroads League standings. Huntington and St. Francis tied at the top at 4-0. And then you have Indiana Wesleyan at the 5th position at 2-2, along with Spring Arbor, who is at 500 in conference play. One real surprise that stands out to me, Caleb, is Grace at 8-7, but they're 0-4 in the Crossroads League. For them, they really need to try and step it up.
Right, and when you get into league play, you really want those to be your best games, and unfortunately, they're not showing their best play during the Crossroads League games, so they're definitely going to want to step it up in this second half of league play.
And it should be some fantastic action tonight here inside Platt Arena. Let's look at the Foresters now. Again, they started undefeated 12-0. They've gone 2-2 in their last 4, but they are undefeated in Crossroads League play, as we mentioned, 4-0. Interesting stats for these two teams when they're in Crossroads League play. Huntington in the Crossroads League only averages 66 points per game, but they only give up about 61. On the other hand, IWU, a little bit more high scoring, almost 71 points per game for them, but they give up almost 72 per contest in the Crossroads League. That's a very interesting stat.
Right, and that's going to give us a little bit of insight into the play styles of these teams. You have Indiana Wesleyan, who obviously likes to attack the basket, try to get as many points as they can, and Huntington kind of has a more conservative approach and plays a little more of a defensive game. That being said, we all know that Huntington's got a lot of offensive weapons, and they do a really good job scoring the basketball.
As for some of these teams' common opponents in the non-conference, IWU among those common ones went 3-0 against Judson, IU East, and Cincinnati Christian, who beat Huntington over the winter break back on December 21st. And again, Huntington going 2-1 in those same games.
Right, and really, like I said, these teams really stack up pretty well every way you look at them, so it should be a very close matchup. And both teams are going to have to really come out with all pistons blazing, and if they want to have a chance to win this game.
And again, both teams looking to try and improve the conference record. Huntington looking to stay undefeated within the Crossroads League. And so far, they've had a tough time shooting the 3-ball in particular. Now, in their last game, though, against Taylor, they went 8 for 20 behind the arc, so that's a slight improvement, whereas the past 2 or 3 games, they were very, very lucky if they even made one during that game.
Right, and one of the things that really surprises me when you look at the last game is that Ryan Baster only went 0 for 5 from three-point land, and normally he's a pretty consistent three-point shooter. Really looking for a little bit more out of Ryan Baster in these games to follow, especially today. Had a little bit of a slump, and really he provides so much to this basketball team, really good leadership. He can control the ball very well, finds a lot of open guys, and like I mentioned, he's a great shooter. So I don't think he's been playing quite to his potential in the last few games, and I really look to see him step it up today. In
that game against Taylor, Caleb, it was a tale of 2 halves. Huntington was up 14 at the break, but they let Taylor crawl back into it. It was only a 72-70 win for Huntington, where on the other hand, as you mentioned, Iwu, they had a tough loss in their own gym against Marion, losing 73-71 in Lucky Arena.
Right, so both of these teams coming off of tough games, it's going to motivate them to play even better, to not have things slip away from them, and of course, Huntington able to hang on to that game against Taylor, but Iwu not so lucky. So both of these teams are going to make sure that they don't have a repeat of their last performance, which I think both teams would agree would not be their best.
One thing that really impressed me, at least for Huntington in that last game, you got great minutes out of Daniel Wool, the freshman forward. Came away with 12 points, 4 assists even, and 3 steals for him as well. That's just an all-around effort from a young player who, at least through this point in his career, is looking very, very strong.
Yes, he is, and he's really climbed up. He's the 3rd leading scorer for Huntington coming off the bench. So he's really become a great asset, and as you mentioned, a very well-rounded basketball player.
We talk about it all the time. Shane Merriman could very well be an All-American at the end of this season. Had 26 points and 8 rebounds in his last game, where he's really struggled rebounding the ball his past few outings before that, but he's got back into that stride, and look for him to really crash the boards against Iwu tonight.
Right, and Iwu has a slight height advantage, and Shane Merriman may be guarding somebody a little bit taller than him tonight, but he's really good off the glass. He knows how to get himself into positions to bring down rebounds, and I agree. I think he's going to have a good night off the glass tonight. I
think the X factor, though, Caleb, for Huntington has to be the play of Alec Peterson. He's 6'10". He's going to be the tallest guy on the floor tonight. If he really wants to motivate his team, he's got to have a great start, a great finish, and not get discouraged as we've seen him this past 2 seasons. But this year, I feel something is different with him.
Right, and we've mentioned that before as kind of a storyline throughout this season, that sometimes he's come in with a little bit more attitude, a little bit more swagger than we've seen in past seasons. And if you look at the games where Huntington's played really well, Alec Peterson's played really well. So we're really going to look for some big plays out of him tonight down in the low post.
Just about a minute 20 before the prayer national anthem, we will take a break for this fantastic Crossroads League matchup, Iwu versus Huntington, here on Forester Sports Live on YouTube and 105.5 Fuse FM.
Huntington University welcomes all players, officials, and spectators to tonight's contest. As a member of the NAIA and the Crossroads League, we are committed to the true spirit of competition as champions of character, embracing 5 core values: respect, integrity, responsibility, servant leadership, and sportsmanship. We ask each of you as a participant, official, or spectator to abide by these values and ask that profanity not be used during tonight's contest. Together we can create a positive, competitive environment in which our athletes may participate, our officials may work, and you, the spectator, may enjoy. Also a reminder that tobacco use is not permitted on the Huntington University campus. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to stand, bow your heads, remove your hats, and remain silent as Dr. Ray Selhammer leads us in prayer before tonight's game. Please remain standing after prayer and honor America as Huntington University freshman Alyssa Kissel sings our national anthem.
God, in these last days, you have demonstrated power, beauty, creativity, and we are thankful that tonight we can play a game that was postponed from last evening. We thank you for 2 outstanding schools, for their desire to give a Christ-centered education. We thank you for their faculty and administration, but especially we thank you for these 2 teams that come with highly skilled athletes to give their best tonight. And we who are fans, thank you for the privilege of watching the skills and talents of these 2 schools. May you superintend what takes place tonight. And we thank you, Father, for people who officiate, cheerleaders who lead us, and for parents and friends who support. In the name of Christ, amen.
Back inside Platt Arena, ready for Huntington versus Indiana Wesleyan. Reminder, you can follow our games on Twitter. Go to @HU Hoops for our men's contest like this evening. And for our women's games, go follow @HU_sports. Should be a great game tonight, Caleb. Let's go ahead and take a look now at our starting lineups for tonight's game. Starting with IWU, they will run 3 guards and 2 forwards. The guards being DJ Bettinger, Zach Vandewater, and Jordan Widener, very highly touted senior. And then the 2 forwards are the Mahurin brothers, RJ and Lane, the latter being a young freshman. As for the Foresters, go ahead and lead us there, Caleb.
The Foresters will be going with their normal set, 2 guards, 2 forwards, and a center. Running the point will be Derek Heinen, the freshman, done an excellent job this year on all aspects of the game. Ryan Baster, the junior, will be the other guard. The forwards will be TJ Short, the senior, and Shane Merriman, also a senior, providing the leadership and the big guys. And Alec Peterson, the big guy in the middle, the junior, will be running the center.
And it should be a fantastic game tonight, Caleb. And again, I think the X factors for Huntington, as you mentioned earlier, Ryan Baster, and as I mentioned earlier, Alec Peterson are the 2 players in my mind that really have to step up for the Foresters if they want to get their first win in 3 years at home against IWU.
I wholeheartely agree. You come to really expect a great play from Shane Merriman and even Derek Heinen so far in his early career at HU. But like I said, we're really going to want to see plays from Ryan Baster, especially behind the arc. I think he could really step up in that department. And obviously Alec Peterson, like you said, down in the low post, using that size advantage that he has and playing with confidence that we've seen him play with earlier this season.
One other quick key I want to mention, Huntington has been known as a first-half team. They've outscored their opponents in the first half by over 220 points. Second half numbers are a little bit closer, only about a 40-point gap between those. So they're going to, again, have to have a good second half, not like they had against Taylor this past Saturday.
Right. They need to learn to play while ahead a little bit better. Sometimes they get a little bit too complacent and allow teams to get that edge in and try to mount a comeback, and sometimes they're successful.
This game was moved back from Tuesday. It's now being played today because of the just basically ugly winter storm that passed through, or as they're calling it, it's the polar vortex, right?
Right.
Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Everybody's complaining about global warming. It's not true, folks. It's not true.
Yeah.
And one change we do see, Tyler Aldis getting the start tonight apparently for the Foresters. That's an interesting move from Coach Ty Platt.
And we'll see who he seems to be replacing there.
It looks like it may be Baster, at least in my mind. And so too is Daniel Wool's going to get the start. And it looks like it's going to be Peterson that's going to be sitting to start the game.
Very
interesting move from Coach Platt.
Well, he definitely seems to be rewarding, especially in Daniel Wool's case, players that seem to be working hard and producing. Tyler All had about 10 minutes of play in the last game, and really we'll see what happens with him today.
So Baster will start out on the bench along with Peterson. Heinen and Alt are going to get the start at guard today. Again, as we say before, all of our starters are probable, and it's definitely been made probable here tonight. Again, we're going to have to see how the Foresters match up, at least height-wise, because without Peterson out there, you lose the biggest guy on the floor.
Right. And very interesting call here. It looks like Daniel Wool's going to be jumping the basketball, and we've seen with some pretty explosive dunks that he's got some ups. Let's see what kind of success he has against the taller guy he's matched up with. He's
going to match up with Lane Mahurin. The fans are ready, as two of the referees. There's the tip. It goes to the Wildcats. It'll be Bettinger starting things off. He'll swing it to the right with Vandewater. Back at the top with R.J. Mahurin. Now ball in the hands of Widener, the highly touted senior. Back with Bettinger. He'll dish it off. Mahurin lobs it in. Mahurin, the younger Mahurin, misses the layup, and I believe the board was by Merriman.
And Heinen got beat by his man. A lot of his man get inside him, and it was lucky he really didn't come up with that open shot.
Foresters have it with Wool underneath. Nice move up and under for the layup, and the Foresters start out with the lead.
You know, nothing should surprise us about this guy at this point in the season, but he keeps shocking us every single time with great plays.
There's a loose ball up on the far side. Now Bettinger corrals it. Swing it off to the right. Widener inside to Lane Mahurin. Heinen on him. That is a mismatch, but he misses the layup again. That's two misses now for the younger Mahurin. Back comes Heinen. He's on the far wing right now. Goes to TJ Short. Back inside. It's Wool on the low block. Backing down Mahurin. Trying to pick up his feet. Found Merriman. Kicks it out. Heinen to Short. A long three is good.
It's a really good ball movement by the Foresters there. We saw Daniel Wool get trapped down low, get it to Merriman, who kicked it out to Heinen, and finally found TJ Short for the open three.
Vandewater leaves it short on the three. The Foresters get the board. It's Merriman again. Heinen gets it to Short, back out at the top of the key, but Ty Platt wanted to go into Wool again because he had that mismatch on Widener. Three ball from Merriman, left it short.
We saw Merriman warm up with a couple of those. You better believe he'll take that shot if he gets it.
Here's Bettinger on the far wing. Shot fake goes to Mahurin. Mahurin up, back off to Bettinger. He'll go ahead and spot up for three, just right of the elbow, and it's good.
Both teams really come out swinging as we kind of expected. There's a lot of fast-paced basketball going on in the first couple minutes.
5-3, Foresters by 2. Heinen across the timeline. He's met by Vandewater. Heinen will swing it off to Short. Has a screen from Merriman, spots up for three again, and he connects. That's the second one of the day for TJ Short.
And we mentioned TJ Short as the leading three-point shooter for the Foresters. Really, he's a very versatile basketball player.
Vandewater inside to the older Mahurin. RJ missed it. Left it short, and it's out of bounds to the Foresters. And Ryan Baster will look to check in. He'll come on for Alt. A great start defensively, Caleb, for the Foresters. They have been denying those inside very close to the hoop baskets for the Wildcats.
And they have, and Daniel Wool showing some defensive prowess. They're not backing down against the bigger player.
Heinen, it just crosses half court. He'll bounce it off to Short. Short goes in the corner with Baster. Baster lost it, and it's taken away by Bettinger. He'll go up to Widener. He lost it himself. And it's out of bounds to the Foresters.
And we're seeing some sloppy basketball early on from the Wildcats, really just coming up with some easy shots and just losing the basketball or just completely missing the shot.
Sub in for Iowa, number 20, Tyler Greathouse. He comes on for Bettinger. And so too on the floor, number 34, Bob Peters, a freshman out of the state of Ohio. Heinen will go to Short. Short with a screen from Wool. He'll spot up again. This one well off the mark, but Baster got it back. Still 20 on the shot clock.
Well, that shot looked like it might have even been a pass to Baster the way he came up with that rebound.
Heinen, top of the key, continues to move right, picks up his dribble, goes to Short. Tried to bounce it into Merriman, but it was a little too wide.
I think TJ Short expected Shane Merriman to cut up a little bit toward the basketball, and Shane didn't read him in time, and unfortunately it caused a turnover for HU.
Alt right back in for Huntington. Baster checks out. Inbound goes to Widener. Widener, the senior out of Danville, Indiana, working against Alt. He'll bounce it off to Peters. Peters finds Widener again. This time Wool will defend. There's the lob pass inside. The layup, no good. Own rebound and put back by R.J. Mahurin.
We saw Shane Merriman go for the block, and therefore he wasn't able to get up for that rebound, allowing that second chance opportunity for IWU.
8-5, Forsters by 3. And Heinen will go and sprint to the hoop. Picked up his dribble, goes back outside to Alt. He'll spot up for 3, and it's good. Tyler Alt, a quick catch and shoot, and he delivers from outside the three-point arc. Back the other way, it's R.J. Mahurin. Off to Vandewater, now back inside, it's Peters against Heinen. There's a turnaround jumper, it takes a bunch of bounces, no good, and a foul going the other way against IWU as Merriman got the rebound.
And the crowd wanted a foul there a little bit earlier. It looked like the IWU player really cut in, used his arm, and swung Derek Heinen, I believe, away, but they were able to get the foul anyway out on the rebound.
The foul goes against Greathouse. That is the first in team's first of the half. Media timeout brought to you by the Huntingtonian. 11-5 your score, 15:47 to play in the first half. And I don't know if it's the energy of the crowd, energy of the players, but Huntington has come out on fire, Caleb.
And this is something we've really come to expect from this men's basketball team. They really just come out explosively, really attacking the basket, and really all the shooters right now. We've had three-pointers from a couple different players. They're all really playing their offensive capabilities very well.
And the Foresters defensively, again, I mentioned before, they're denying a lot of what should be easy baskets at least, right around the rim for the Wildcats. They only got one second chance opportunity, and they've made good on it.
Right, and the Foresters, they're going to be trying to rebound as much as they possibly can, really trying to prevent those second chance opportunities. And really, if you're the Wildcats and you miss, Huntington's going to try to make you pay for it.
Media timeout brought to you by the Huntingtonian. We are the media. Visit them at huntingtonian.com and also follow them on Facebook and Twitter. Both teams breaking their respective huddles. And the Foresters ahead by 6. And really, so far, Caleb, it has been the three-point game. We really haven't seen too much inside, but it's been a lot of drive and kick action, and that's been providing some good looks for the Foresters.
Right. I think the respect for Huntington's inside game has allowed them to set up a lot of these opportunities.
Heinen bringing it up, guarded by Vandewater. Looks for an open man, finds Baster. Baster going against Peters, goes to Short. Short looks for a screen, has one in Merriman. Now goes to Heinen, who cuts right. He's at the top of the key now. Vandewater right there defensively, dish to Baster. Baster with less than 10, dumps it off for Wool, but it's out of bounds. And just like that, Tyler Alt checking back in again for Baster.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of substitution between these two players. Unfortunately, 2 big turnovers by Ryan Baster at this point in the game, and this isn't the kind of play that we wanted to see out of him.
And Widener will bring it up for IWU. His team trailing by 6, closing in on the 15-minute mark in the first half. Peters with the ball near wing. Tried to find the cutting back door. Instead, goes to Greathouse. Greathouse dishes to Widener. That one dished up, and it's an offensive foul, a charge on Widener.
Nice job by the experienced leader, Shane Merriman, getting inside and taking that charge, giving his body up for the team.
Again, 2 subs now for the Foresters. Again, this time, Baster's back on, takes the place of Alt, and now we see Alec Peterson in for the first time. He comes on for Daniel Wool.
And a very interesting coaching strategy we're seeing here. Quick substitutions almost every time the ball is dead between Tyler Alt and Ryan Baster, and it seems to be working decently.
Baster will now run the point, bounces off to Short. Short finds a dish off to Merriman. Puts up a runner, that one no good. The tip in, no good by Peterson. And Coach Platt imploring him to go up with 2 hands next time. Peters the other way, no good. Follow, no good either, and Merriman the rebound. The miss was by Mahurin. At the other way comes HU quickly. It's Heinen trying to dish off to Short, and he does. Short goes all the way to the near wing, finds Heinen back at the top of the circle. Heinen looking to go inside, tries to back his man down, dishes out, Short, left open again, a little off the front iron, no good. The rebound goes to Greathouse.
Well, I like the idea behind that play. Drive it in, find the open guy who's really been hot with his three-point shot, but unfortunately, TJ Short couldn't come up with that basket.
Still 11-5, dish off to Greathouse. Now with Vandewater. Swinging around to Widener this time. And he's looking for movement out of his Wildcat teammates. Widener dishes and kicks. Vandewater a three. No good. Left it short. And now Heinen slows things down. Here comes Heinen. Vandewater right there defensively once more. Goes to short. Right back to Heinen. And he lost it himself.
That's very unfortunate. There was a big defensive mistake by Indiana Wesleyan and allowed Derek Heinen to get inside his man. And the other Forester player, they had the read on him, but unfortunately that ball just slipped right out of his hands.
Again, Alt checks on for Baster. So far, Caleb, a lot of missed opportunities by both sides. This is much like just a feeling out process, it seems, right now.
And both these teams playing at a fast pace, and mistakes are bound to be made whenever they're playing at this intensity.
Dishes off, and a travel by number 11, Eric Redmond, who is checked in. And right off the bat, he comes up with a turnover. Alt checks out, Baster back on, and prior to that, this current sub, we saw Kyle Pippinger check on as well for TJ Short.
Right, lots of substitutions coming. Obviously the strategy here for Coach Platt.
Here comes Heinen, guarded by Peters, finds Pippinger. Pippinger with the screen, trying to get some separation. He'll give it in to Baster. Dish to Peterson. He threw it down with two hands.
And give credit to Ryan Baster. That was an excellent pass. As soon as he grabbed the ball, he was able to get an assist.
And back the other way, Eric Redmond lays it in quickly from the left side of the basket.
And the Foresters coming maybe a little bit unfocused back on the defensive side, and unfortunately allowed a big play by Indiana Wesleyan.
Just like that, Daniel Wohl looking to check in on the next stoppage of play. Merriman with the ball. Backing down, Mahurin goes right to the hole and lays it in.
The Foresters are really showing that they're going to play their hearts out inside the post, and that could be big implications for this game.
15-7, Foresters by 8. Ball in the near corner. Here's the dish, Bettinger. Back outside, Peters. Peters lost it going down, but so did Pippinger, and they're going to get Pippinger with the foul. Both men were going down. And again, here's Wohl. He'll come in for Merriman. And so too were Tyler Alt. He's back on quickly as well for Baster.
And going back to that dunk that Alec Peterson had, that could have big implications for the game as well. Him getting that confidence early on in the game.
Ball knocked up, almost taken away by the Foresters. Mahurin dishes out to his older brother. Spots up for three, left it short. Heinen the rebound. And he slows it down on the words from Coach Platt. Heinen going right, screen from Wohl. Mahurin trying to guard as Peterson has it. Spots up mid-range jumper, left it short. And here comes Peters. Peters going back to Redmond. Dish inside is good. There by R.J. Mahurin.
And right now we're seeing both teams really match each other's intensity level as this game goes, and we're seeing some really good passes by both teams inside the lane.
Now 15-9, Foresters by 6. Heinen looking to drive. Goes baseline, dishes in the corner. Catch and fire from Alt is no good. Tipped up, ball still loose. Heinen got it. Now Heinen gets some help from Pippinger, and he gives him the ball back. Screen by Peterson. Heinen stepping back for three, no good. And then over the back foul on Daniel Wohl.
And I don't know if that was the best call by Derek Heinen. You know, for all of his strengths, three-point shooting isn't really one of his. And he was a little bit open, but he still had plenty of time left on the shot clock to maybe set up a better shot than that.
Pippinger and Peterson check out. Merriman and Short back in. So now 2 guards for the Foresters and 3 forwards on the floor. Lane Mahurin has checked off. Let's see who checked in for him. It may have been Greathouse. Bringing it up is Redmond. He'll go to Peters. Greathouse. Widener. Widener tried to dish it outside. The ball was tipped and almost out of bounds, but there is Redmond to get it. Redmond going to try and drive on TJ Short. Almost lost the ball. Now it's with Widener. Good defense so far from the Foresters. Turnaround jumper off the glass. No good. A rebound, Heinen.
And really, Heinen's pulled up a couple of defensive boards there. He's doing a good job watching the ball and getting a good opportunity despite his height disadvantage.
Heinen going against Peters. That one knocked away. Heinen still got it, and a foul. It's going to be a foul on Peters.
Really good hustle by Heinen. The ball was tipped, and he was able to chase it down, and he was looking to get a timeout. Coach Platt was looking to get a timeout, but fortunately they got one better, which was the foul.
Again, Baster subs in for Alt, and he's going to be the one inbounding. As we take a look at the good amount of students coming in, even with this big snowstorm and the roads may not be as good, they still managed to pack Platt Arena. Here's Heinen working against Vandewater. Picks up his dribble, bounce pass to Wool. Wool tries to turn in a reach-in foul, I guess. Didn't see who got it. We'll take a look at the referee. It's on Greathouse. That's his second.
And
fourth team foul.
Tyler Alt's coming back again, but this time he's coming in for Derek Heinen.
An interesting strategy, to say the least, from head coach Ty Platt, Caleb.
Yeah, we really haven't seen anything like this.
I haven't seen much of this all season, if at all. As the inbound goes to Baster. Baster spinning off against, I believe it was Redmond. The lay-in by Merriman.
And really, you can mark Merriman for that shot every time he takes it. Really, he just knows how to use the glass and cash in on that position that he had.
Vandewater were dished to Widener. Around to Redmond. Inside, Mahurin misses the layup. Got his own rebound and put it back. It's been back and forth recently between a 6 and 8 point game. It's back down to 6 now. Baster bounces off to Short. Short to Wool. And Wool will go to Alt. Swinging around. Baster beat his man. Baseline jumper is good. And Baster's on the board with 2 points.
Right, and again, that's something we want to see to maybe get his confidence up a little bit and make him a bigger factor in this game.
Redmond dishes off. Greathouse for 3. No good. Baster the rebound.
A little bit of a defensive miscommunication there, a little bit of frustration there on Shane Merriman's face. Fortunately, Indiana Wesleyan wasn't able to capitalize on that mistake.
Bounce in the high post. Merriman working against R.J. Mahurin. Spin move. Dish in the corner. Baster back inside with Alt. Kicks it back out. Merriman will spot up for 3. That one no good, off to the right. And the coaching staff for Huntington employing their players to get back on defense. Widener with it. Dish to Greathouse. Long 2 on the way, no good. Baster the rebound, but could not save it. Shot put up by Vandewater, no good, and they foul on Wool, excuse me. That's his second.
Good job by Vandewater. He was kind of outnumbered there in the paint, but he did a good job getting himself into position with that pump fake to draw the foul.
That's a junior against a freshman, Caleb, and usually the junior will come out on top. Vandewater, a very experienced player. And he'll have 2 free throws. First one on the way, it is good. Peterson checks in for Huntington. It comes on for Wool with those 2 fouls. And Vettinger and Lane Mahurin check on for Widener along with Redmond. Actually, excuse me, Widener going to stay out there. He was not subbed out for. And right now, Vandewater with his second free throw. That's it on the way. That one a little too strong. Peterson, a nice rebound against Greathouse. Baster will bring it up. Heinen looks to check in. Bounce pass off to Alt in the corner. Back in the post with Peterson. Peterson, a strong move, swirls it in.
Really in a very rare burst of speed there to get around his man and get himself the easy layup. Nice job by Peterson.
Bounce pass, Vandewater gonna go baseline. Reach and foul before the shot, I believe. Oh, and a technical. Who's it gonna go on here? Baster has the personal foul. And the technical goes against Baster.
I'm really not sure what may have happened there. Must have been some words that were exchanged.
I guess. And that technical foul counts against Baster's foul count, so he now stands with 2. He only has 3 more fouls to give.
And this may affect the rapid substitution that we've been seeing.
First free throw good from Widener. Widener averaging over 18.5 points. Second one is good from Widener. Heinen will check in. He'll come on for Baster. And it will be 2 shots for Vandewater. And they're going to say that foul was in the act of shooting. So right now it's a 21-14 score with those 2 technical foul shots. And now Vanderwater will have the 2 personal foul shots. First one on the way in, good again. 2 for 3 now for Vanderwater from the charity stripe. 6-point game. Second one on the way. That one swirls in too. 21-16. Forsters by 5. Heinen trying to work quickly. He'll go in the paint. A little runner off the glass, no good. Got his own rebound and had it blocked into his face, but he got it back. And it's saved by Short into Peterson. Throw that one down, big fella. Throw that down.
And we'll see if they can get back on defense. They failed to do so after big plays a couple times during this game.
And the rafters are shaking with the crowd going nuts. Widener dishes to Bettinger. He'll lay it up. Peterson swats him out of the gym.
And Alec Peterson, we mentioned his confidence. It's through the roof right now. He feels like he can take these guys.
Media timeout, 7:52 to play, and the Foresters lead it by 7, 23-16. The media timeout brought to you by the Huntingtonian. What a last few plays, Caleb. Alec Peterson all by himself on that block, but his teammates got him a great ball trying to save out of bounds. First it was Heinen, then Short, and Peterson was all alone, and he crams it again with 2 hands.
Right, you can see a little bit of resentment on these Foresters for that technical foul. Obviously, they didn't agree with it, and they came back with a little bit of fighting energy and maybe a little bit of resentment, and that strong dunk by Peterson. That's his second big dunk today. We've seen a really good layup, and now an explosive block. He's playing like we needed him to play today.
Now that is exactly what we talked about in the open. Peterson's got to be aggressive, can't get down on himself, and so far, that looks like exactly what he's doing. It's going to be a whale of a game, and we're not even halfway through the first period yet, Caleb.
No, and you better believe that the more good plays that Alec Peterson's able to make, the better he's going to keep doing.
Media timeout brought to you by the Huntingtonian. We are the media. Visit them at huntingtonian.com and also follow them on Facebook and Twitter. Out of the media timeout, Forster sticking with Heinen, Merriman, Peterson, Short, and Alt. Wildcats come out with the Mahurin brothers. Also Peters, Bettinger, and Widener. Inbound goes to Bettinger, and we're back underway. 17 on the shot clock for the Wildcats. Widener, guarded by Short, bounce pass to Mahurin. Lane Mahurin goes back door. Nice pass, but it may have been blocked by TJ Short.
I believe it was.
Quickly come the Foresters. Here's Alt, just inside the timeline. He'll give it off to the point guard, Heinen. Heinen looking for movement, finds Short. He'll bounce it in to Peterson. Looking pretty aggressive right now, but instead dishes it out. Short saves it before it goes over and back.
That's typical TJ Short there. Always heads up basketball. He plays with a high IQ, and he's able to prevent a lot of turnovers.
10 on the shot clock. Nice dish. Peterson got it stripped away.
And I don't think he was ready for that pass, unfortunately.
Here's Peters. He'll give it off to RJ Mahurin. Going to drive inside, and they'll get the foul on Peterson. That's team foul number 6. And the first foul against Peterson.
And the crowd doesn't really like that call, but I have to agree with the officials there. He's playing defense with his arms and not with his feet, and unfortunately they're going to get you for that every time.
Widener will inbound for Iwu. Short playing excellent defense so far. Quick pass inside to Mahurin. He misses another layup. That's got to be the third miss from right up under the basket for
Lane Mahurin. Relatively uncontested mismatch with Tyler Alt on him. He really needs to hit that shot.
Here comes Heinen the other way. Dishes off to Merriman. Merriman going to back down Mahurin. He works in the paint. Dishes out. Heinen left open in the corner. It's good from Derek Heinen.
Right, they saw him miss that shot earlier and decided to give him a little bit too much space, and this kid's not going to back down, and he knocked that shot right in that time.
And when the offense goes through Derek Heinen, and it does it well, as Bettinger got an open lane, no one playing defense really for the Foresters on that last exchange.
And as I mentioned, this has happened a few times with Huntington. Every time not every time. A lot of times when they get a big play, they fail to get back and get really set on defense, and it allows the Wildcats to answer with a big play.
And that forces them to go ahead and have to answer. Heinen with contact, misses the shot. Rebound Peters, and Bettinger's looking to run. Here's the play up, and a foul on Merriman. As Lane Mahurin was going up for the layup. That's Shane's first foul, 7th on the team, so now Iwu in the bonus. I kind of agree with that call, Caleb. Merriman was in the air. He may have gotten part of the body, and he did eventually block the shot.
Right. And even still, a foul is better, as we're seeing right now, than letting them have a free layup on the fast break. As we saw, you make them earn it with the 2 shots, they're more likely to miss, and they did right there.
Lane Mahurin on the season, only a 69% foul shooter. He missed the first one. Going to be important to get the miss of it for the box out, but it is good from Mahurin. Back to a 7-point game, 26-19. Heinen will dish off to Short. Short goes right, finds Baster. Baster going to go into Merriman. Turnaround jumper, had it knocked away. And here come the Wildcats. Widener left open for 3. A skyrocket is good. 30-second timeout by Iwu.
Very loud visitor
Or excuse me, by Huntington. That's the first timeout taken by either side. It's a 30-second timeout for the Foresters. And that makes it a 4-point game as Widener shot it up over 2 Forester defenders.
These last few possessions, we've really seen the Wildcats step up their defense in the paint. They're really keeping first Derek Heinen and then Shane Merriman on that last possession from getting any easy shots. And they're able to turn these good defensive plays into points on the offensive side of the ball.
This timeout comes with 5.5 minutes to go in the first period. I wonder when we're going to see Daniel Wool come back onto the floor, if at all, in this first half. Again, he does have those 2 fouls, but he could be a real spark plug for the Foresters if he decides to come off the bench.
Well, I think Coach Platt knows the potential of Alec Peterson, especially with the game that he's having right now, and I think he really wants to keep him in, hope to keep that hot streak going right now. That might be what he's thinking.
Heinen works the ball up, and he's met by Peters inside the timeline. Bounce pass to Short. TJ will try and get into Merriman, but it's too wide again.
And that looks almost like another turnover that happened earlier where TJ Short tried to go inside to Shane Merriman, and Shane doesn't cut out like TJ expects him to, and that's going to result in a turnover just like last time.
Baster checks out again, and Alt takes his place. It'll be Bettinger bringing it up. Number 13 for the Wildcats. Will be defended by Heinen as he goes off to Widener. Alt defends, has a screen. Mahurin will now dish inside to his brother, and this time he finally got it to go, and it's a 2-point game. An 8-0 run put together by Iwu. Here comes Heinen. Heinen picks up his dribble, finds Peterson. Peterson gonna go inside, and a charge goes against Peterson.
Bit of a late call there. Peterson was able to turn all the way around before that whistle blew.
And that is his second. He'll head to the bench. Wool will come in. 4:50 to play in the first half. 8th team foul on the Foresters, but it will not be free throws for the Wildcats since it was an offensive. Widener will bring it up. Alt has only a little space between him and Widener. Mahurin to Widener, back to Mahurin, left it short. The ball still tipped around, and Lane Mahurin gets the reward. Finally, Widener dishes inside, and Mahurin ties it up.
And there's no excuse for that second chance opportunity to have occurred. TJ Short and Shane Merriman were down low and really should have brought that rebound home.
Timeout again taken by Coach Platt. It's a full timeout, and it's brought to you by HTV News. Baster will check in again for the Foresters after the timeout. Still, assistant coach Jamie Hotchkiss staying positive there on the sidelines, even when this game has taken a complete 180, and it's back at a tie ball game and a 10-0 run put together by Iwu.
Right, and I think this is a smart timeout by Coach Platt. Doesn't want to give up the lead. Really wants to make sure that the Foresters can kind of slow down, catch their breath, and try to get back in control of this ball game.
Timeout comes with 4:19 to play in the first half. Again, Ken, what worked for the Foresters earlier was being able to go inside and out against this IWU defense, but right now their defense is really lacking themselves on the other end.
Right, IWU has really stepped up their offensive side, really finding some really sharp, quick passes inside, setting up some easy layups. And really, IWU, they missed a lot of those layups early on in the game, but now they're starting to get a little bit more comfortable and start to knock those down and cash in on them, and they're really giving the Foresters some trouble right now.
Full Timeout brought to you by HTV News, your source for the latest video coverage. Visit them at htvnews.net and follow them on Twitter at HTVnews_HU. Both teams come out of the timeout. That leaves the Foresters with 4 remaining for the rest of the game. And Baster will inbound. He'll get it in the backcourt to Heinen. Heinen moves off right, goes to Wool. Wool gonna try and work against Mahurin. Turnaround, nice up and under, could not finish.
Really good move, and unfortunately wasn't able to cash in on it. And now Wildcats will have a chance to take the lead here.
Winder kicks to Bettinger. He'll now kick it out. Stolen by Short. And a good decision there by TJ to just hold on to the ball and let things develop.
We mentioned heads-up basketball, really paying good attention and able to come up with that steal and then also not do something rash to lose the basketball after he got possession of it.
Merriman backs him down. Kick out for 3 by Wool. Too strong off the back iron, and Lane Mahurin the rebound. Peters goes to RJ Mahurin, and that is a foul on Wool. That's his 3rd already.
Yep.
It's going to be a shooting foul. So RJ will be at the line for 2. That will send Peterson to the scores table, and he's back in. And so too for IWU's Vandewater as Bettinger checks out. Actually, it's the 1-and-1. 1-and-1 for Mahurin. First one on the way and good. And IWU has taken the lead. I believe it may be their first of the night.
I believe you're right.
And they'll look to try and push it to 2. Sub at the scores table now for Iowa's Nathan Bubash, but he will come in for the shooter if it's made, and it's not. But Vandewater got the rebound. 3 ball by Peters, no good. Short the board. And the fans wanting a foul again for Vandewater as he pretty much got all body on TJ
Right,
Short.
he all but landed on TJ, but fortunately he was able to hang on to that rebound despite the clear foul there.
Heinen working against a double team. Baster back out to Short. Shot fake. Goes back to his left. Puts up a 3. No good. And the rebound by Mahurin.
And the Foresters needed that.
Quickly up. Short saved it. Wow. You call that tight roping. That is all skill from TJ Short.
That's thinking fast, too. And not only pulling down that interception, but throwing it back around his back and fortunately into the hands of Ryan Baster.
Pass inside, knocked away, ball on the floor, and it's to IWU. Fans wanting another travel. Peters misses the lay-in. And a foul on the Foresters. It's going against Baster. That'll be his 3rd of the day.
And I think this crowd has had enough.
You could say that.
They're as angry as I've ever seen them here inside Platt Arena.
Peters with 2 free throws. First one on the way and good. All checks in for Baster, who now has 3 total fouls.
And I don't typically like to side against the refs, but I'm not even sure. I wouldn't have even been sure who that foul was on.
Coach Blatt's going to have a word with one of them right here. As Waters has 2nd on the way, and it rattles in. And that puts Iowa in front by 3.
And the Foresters really on an offensive drought. They need to get a basket, and they need it soon.
And the bad thing for them, Caleb, is they're now in the double bonus, and Iowa will be shooting 2 free throws for the rest of the half. Heinen working right, tried to dish inside, stolen by Vandewater.
And another turnover.
Quickly up, Mahurin crams it down with one hand. Another timeout taken by Coach Ty Platt. This time it's a 30.
I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be in that huddle right now. He's very heated.
That leaves the Foresters with 3 remaining. And at 2:18 to go in the first period, it has been a 15-0 run put together by IWU.
And really just bad passes inside by the Foresters. It's been every possession, it seems like, just making a big mistake and passing the ball away. And Indiana Wesleyan has been relentless on the defensive end, just capitalizing on every mistake that Huntington seems to be making.
And it's not very often, Caleb, that this Forester team gets outscored in the first period. They're going to need to put together a quite last 2-18 if they want to even draw close with IWU right now, because they have the momentum all in their favor.
Right, and it's important for them to score here soon before the game gets too far out of hand.
Here comes Heinen. He's looking to push. Look for a back door. And a foul on the forearm. Let's see who they'll get it on.
And the crowd excited that they actually called one against Indiana Wesleyan.
That foul's on Bubash, number 30. That's his first 15th foul against IWU. Deep inbound goes to Merriman. He'll give it to Heinen. Heinen gonna drive inside, another reach-in foul. This time it's on Vandewater. That's team foul number 6.
Yeah, and one more, and the Foresters may be shooting one in bonus.
That's the first on Vandewater. 2:06 to play in the first half. Here comes Heinen. Again, looking for a teammate. Finds Short. Back out on the near wing. He'll move right. Looking to sprint fast. Good lane provided by Shane Merriman, and TJ finally breaks the scoring drought.
And really, the player that's been playing the most consistently right now has been TJ Short, and he was able to come up with a basket. Unfortunately, they draw a foul on the other end.
Now let's see who this is on. It may be against Peterson, and it is. I believe that is his third. And the Foresters already over the limit, but it puts Lane Mahurin at the line for 2 free throws. Now Kyle Pippinger will look to check in.
And I expect we'll see more of Pippinger now with both Peterson and Wool with 3 fouls apiece.
First free throw, good. Back out to a 4-point lead, 32-28. Again, Peterson has to take a seat with those 3 fouls. Second free throw on the way, left it short. TJ gets the rebound. Heinen will bring it across. Met by Vandewater. That one knocked away again by Vandewater, and he has nobody in front of him. There's Peters putting it down with 2 hands.
And the Foresters are blatantly being out-hustled by Indiana Wesleyan right now. They've got a lot of fast break points.
And right now, Caleb, Heinen looks rattled. He's had a few very bad passes, and he's going to have to get out of this funk. Pippinger goes to Heinen, top of the key. Heinen looking to go inside. He'll go up, lay it in. And that's more, I think, of what he needs to do at this point. Just get confident at going to the basket. Peters left open in the corner, drains the 3 right away. And with under a minute, it's 37-30, IWU in front.
And if you give an inch on these Wildcats, they're going to take a mile, and they're taking advantage of every little mistake that the Foresters are making right now.
Heinen goes into the lane, dishes off, Pippinger to Short, left open for 3 to answer, no good. Ball tipped up, Merriman the board, and he lays it in.
And Merriman's been relatively quiet. That was a nice job by Merriman to fight for that rebound and able to cash in on that TJ Short miss.
30-second timeout by IWU. And a few seconds did run off the clock at the whistle, so they may have to adjust the play clock here. But so far, they'll leave it at 35 seconds, and the shot clock is turned off. 37-32, Foresters trailing by 5. And I got to tell you, Caleb, it was about the first half that this was all Huntington, but right now it is all IWU.
They are. They're playing really like a seamless machine right now, and the Foresters really have had a really hard time gaining any kind of traction.
And again, I think it's the defense. Their defense just seems a little asleep right now. They're leaving men wide open.
They do seem to be almost one step behind Indiana Wesleyan on almost every play.
Out of the timeout, come the Wildcats. It will be their ball. And so far, no full court pressure from the Foresters. They'll let them get it in easy. Ball given to Peters, and he will bring it up. Peters met by Pippinger inside the timeline. Dish off to Vandewater, back to Peters. Peters goes to Widener. Widener off to Vandewater, looking for help. Bounces to Peters. with 15 seconds to go in the first half. Wildcats content to hold for the last shot. Widener inside. Mahurin finds a cutting Bubash for 2. Quickly come the Foresters though. Heinen off to short in the corner for 3. No good.
And really, that last set of possessions really sums up this half so far, especially the second part of the half, as you mentioned.
That brings us to halftime. Your score, 39-32. The Foresters trailing by 7 to the Iowa Wildcats. We're taking a break, and we're coming back with halftime stats and what we can see in the second half here on Forester Live on YouTube and 105.5 Fuse FM.
Our Huntington University student halftime shootout is sponsored by Signs Etc. and the Huntington Pizza Hut. Each shooter will shoot from the free throw line, the 3-point line, and half court. If they hit the free throw, they win a 2-liter bottle of pop. If they hit the 3-point shot, they win a free pizza from Pizza Hut. And if they hit the half court shot, they win a $100 gift certificate. When we call your ticket number, please report to the scoring table with your ticket. Number 681-804. That's 681-804. The second ticket, 681-780. Once again, that's 681-780. And the third ticket, 681-755.
You're not the only one, Randy. That was hard.
Once again, 681-755.
Yeah.
If you have any of those 3 tickets,
I've down there on Ryan. I mean, that was a joke. He didn't
head to the press table.
and then he teased him up for going. Yeah. And then here, that last shot, he didn't call a foul. TJ was fouled in that shot. That's bad. Horrible, horrible.
Okay, here are 3 different tickets. 681-778. 681-778. How about 681-809? 809. And the third ticket, 681-789. 681-789. The Huntington University Athletic Department wants to thank Orthopedics Northeast and Sport One for its partnership. ONE physicians specialize in bones, joints, spines, and sports medicine. ONE also has athletic trainers that provide team coverage to area athletic programs, including Huntington University. When you need orthopedic care, there's only one name to know, ONE.
Back inside Platt Arena, we're at halftime, 39-32, Indiana Wesleyan with the lead over your Huntington Foresters. And what really was a tale of two parts of that half, Caleb. Foresters had a great, probably first half of that period, but the second half was just absolutely dreadful. From the time the Foresters led it 26-16, IWU went on a 23-6 run to close it out with a 7-point lead.
Right, and that's something that we don't really see with this Foresters team. They tend to slow down as the game progresses, but not usually that early. And really, Indiana Wesleyan just seemed to figure out the offense of the Foresters.
Let's take a look now at your halftime stats as we take a recap of this first half. Again, 39-32, IWU with the lead. Foresters are shooting better from the field at 45%, but they have not gotten to the free throw line even once in that first half. And that really, Caleb, is the difference.
It is. And it's interesting to see that the Foresters are shooting at a higher field goal percentage, and it really shows you just how many opportunities the Wildcats are getting to shoot the basketball. And that, even if we look at rebounds, Huntington's got more there too. So what does it have to be that's getting them those opportunities? Turnovers. The Foresters have 12. The Wildcats only have 5, and we see a big steal differential as well too. 7 steals for Indiana Wesleyan, Huntington only 2. That's the biggest difference in this game right now, along with the foul situation providing free throw opportunities.
Another big thing is the three-point shooting as well. Only 3 for 8 for IWU, but they're at 38%, while Huntington is at 29% going 4 for 14. They've taken a majority of three-pointers, something we have not really seen these past 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, and they really need to get back to what makes the Foresters, and really that all starts with Shane Merriman. This is one of his quietest halves he's had all year, only 6 points. Now, he has had 6 rebounds, which is good. That's about what he's been playing at this so far this year, a little bit above actually for one half, but he really needs to get more involved on the offensive side of the ball. And Indiana Wesleyan's done a really good job of shutting him down so far. That's where it needs to start. Once he gets going on the offensive side, other opportunities will open up.
And you mentioned turnovers, 3 from Peterson, Baster, and Heinen respectively, 9 of the 12 from 3 really key players that the Foresters have to have a good game out of today.
Right, and honestly, especially Baster and Derek Heinen there, they really are the ones who need to take care of the ball the most. The guards, and of course, Baster didn't get the start today, but he's really played almost as much time as Tyler Alt, who did start at guard. So those guys really need to start taking better care of the ball. And I think Derek Heinen is starting to get into kind of a little bit of a panic toward the last part of that half. And really, that's very uncharacteristic of him. He normally, even for a freshman, does a really good job of keeping his composure and running that point. But he needs to calm it down a little bit, try to make a little bit better passes, and really just run his position as the point guard.
And you hit the nail right on the head, Caleb. Derek Heinen has got to be precise with his passes. He's the floor general out there. If he starts making mistakes, that may lead the team to be making mistakes as well, and that is not what the Foresters need against this Iowa team, who is very, very dangerous.
They are, and they're on the ball. Every one of these players that are on the floor for Indiana Wesleyan are making heads-up plays. They're paying attention to every single mistake the Foresters are making, and they're making them pay, both causing defensive turnovers and turning those into points on the offensive side.
And the thing is, Iowa, even though they lost their last game against Merriman in very close fashion, they're playing like winners right now, and that's really been the tale of this first half. Whereas the Foresters, yeah, they got a close win last week at Taylor, but so far they're not really playing with that much enthusiasm, especially the latter part of that first half.
Yeah, very interesting to know. Both of these teams coming off of a really tough game. The Foresters were able to come out on top. The Wildcats not so much, and maybe they're playing with a little bit more of an edge just because
they have something to play for right now.
Exactly.
I mean, they're in the middle of the road, and when you speak of Iowa in the Crossroads League, they're usually not middle of the road, so they're trying to play out of that.
Right, and if you think about it, a loss here takes them under 500 in the Crossroads play, and that's not a position that Indiana Wesleyan's used to being in.
And the Foresters, it would be their first conference loss. And should St. Francis win tonight, they'd be the lone undefeated team in the Crossroads League at 5-0. So this game really is important for both teams to try and keep pace with each other.
Right, but if you do, like you mentioned, see the Wildcats playing with a bit more of an edge right now, whether that's because they just came off of a loss, or maybe that's because they don't want to dig themselves into an already deeper hole in conference play, what's to tell? But one of those things, maybe both of those things, are really seem to be motivating the Wildcats to be playing better basketball than the Foresters right now.
Just about 3 minutes before we're back underway, but let's look ahead to some of the keys now in half number 2. As for the Foresters, like you mentioned, they got to have an alertness and a smartness out there, especially with their passing and not committing turnovers.
Right. Really, I think the two key players right now, we mentioned Ryan Baster and Alec Peterson at the beginning of the game, and they've been playing, well, different times in the game. But when you're in a losing situation like this, you really want to go back to the two biggest, most influential players on the team, and that's Shane Merriman scoring the ball in particular, and also continuing to rebound well. And as we mentioned, Derek Heinen taking care of the ball and making sure that good opportunities are being taken on offense.
Also, got to be smart with the foul situation. Again, 3 players to the Foresters with 3 fouls. Those are Baster, Peterson, and Daniel Wool. 3, again, as we mentioned, very key players that need to have a good night if Huntington wants to come out on top here against the Wildcats.
Right, and I think the foul situation that especially the big guys are in right now, you're going to see a little bit more playing time and a little bit more importance for Shane Merriman and TJ Short playing forward. Those guys are really going to have to step it up on the defensive side, playing clean defense and keeping themselves out of foul trouble to make up for Daniel Wool and Alec Peterson with 3 fouls apiece.
And for Iowa, they just simply have to keep doing what they're doing. They're playing great basketball right now. They're getting wide open against this Forester defense on their half end of the floor. They're just running their half-court offense very well. And if they can continue to do that, they may just pull out a road win against the Foresters. Plenty more to come, and half number 2 on the way here on Forester Live on YouTube and 105.5 Fuse FM. Back inside Platt Arena. Under 30 seconds before we get started in half number 2. The Foresters will start out with the basketball, Caleb, but trailing 7 points, 39-32. This first possession may just be the deciding factor of the second half.
It's definitely going to set the tone for how the Foresters are going to play on the offense, what players they're going to get involved, and really, like you said, it's going to be very important for setting the tone for the rest of this half.
Inbound to Heinen, we're underway. Possession arrow now changes back to Iwu as we start the half. Short with the basketball. Goes back to the freshman Heinen. Heinen looking for a lane. He'll drive, kick to Wool. Wool gonna drive and lost the ball out of bounds. Not what the Foresters needed.
No, it doesn't. And for all the good we can say about Daniel Wool, which is an abundance, he plays a high-energy basketball, and really high-energy basketball is prone to mistakes like that. Unfortunately, he just needs to shake it off right now and move on.
Around the horn it goes to Widener for Iwu. He'll go to Lane Mahurin. Back to Bettinger. And now we'll go to Vandewater to Widener. Widener with the screen. Switch by the Foresters. Short knocks it up. Still in the backcourt. And Widener was able to go get it.
And that shot
but there's
clock
10 on the shot clock, like you mentioned. Widener tries to go in. That's a charge against Widener. That's his second of the day.
And I mentioned the short memory that Daniel Wool needed to have, and he had it right there. Playing real tough, not backing down because of that mistake, but just intensifying himself and taking that charge there to get them the ball back.
And like we saw at the beginning of the game, Ryan Baster on for Tyler out in the opening moments at the first dead ball. Actually, the second. Heinen going to drive all the way, misses the layup. Had to adjust against some very big bodies there in the lane and could not connect. Danger out to R.J. Mahurin. Mahurin going to drive in, lays it up, no good. Ball still knocked up, and Heinen gets the board. Mahurin a little slow getting back. They have the advantage to the Foresters. Merriman got it, and he got the foul. He's at the line for the first attempt for the Foresters at the charity stripe.
And really just some good plays on both sides of the ball by Shane Merriman. A really big tip in order to get the Forester rebound, and he came back on it, able to take a good shot in true Shane Merriman fashion and also draw the foul.
And that foul was on Widener, Caleb. That is his third. He may have to check out immediately, and he will. He'll be subbed out for Bob Peters. Maybe this is what the Foresters need to get that energy back up, as Merriman for the and one. On the way, and good. Shane Merriman, not just a leader in points per game, but he also leads in free throw percentage, surprisingly. As those are numbers, and we have a turnover. It went out of bounds again, and the Foresters get it back.
Some miscommunication looked like between Mahurin and Vanderwater, and that ball went straight out of bounds, and the Foresters like the way they're starting off this half.
And that forces a timeout by Iwu, a 30-second timeout, leaving them with 4 remaining at 18:37 to go in the second period. I was mentioning about Shane Merriman from the charity stripe. He has taken the most free throws from the line, not the leader as far as percentages go, but he is very solid at 78.8%.
He does. It's always nice when you have somebody who gets themselves a lot of opportunities to be able to cash in on those, and he does as good a job as you can expect for somebody at his size.
It is Forester ball, down by 4 that can cut it to 2 or 1 with a basket.
It looks like Baster's going to stay in. It doesn't seem like they're rotating quite as quickly between him and Alt as they did in the first half.
Baster will guard the inbounder, but he gets it in to TJ Short. Short will go ahead and take it over and hand to Heinen. Heinen will move right with a screen from Wool. He's now on the near wing, looking to bounce it in. Trying to go inside, but cannot, and he does get it to Merriman. Here's the kick. Wool straight away for 3. It's good. And we're at a 1-point game.
And Daniel Wool, not a typical three-point shooter, but he does whatever he needs to do to get his team back in the game. And in that case, he did a great job.
Danger to Vandewater. Now in the corner, Peters. Look to go into Mahurin, but he cannot. But he finally goes to him on the far baseline. Here goes Mahurin. Kicking to Peters. Peters drives, goes inside, and another ball out of bounds.
Yep, looks like he passed it off the shoe of R.J. Mahurin.
That's 3 straight turnovers for Iwu out of the half.
And we see basically another flip-flop thus far. I know it's still early in this half, but really the Foresters really taking control of what they were lacking in the later moments of that second half.
A field goal takes the lead. Getting it in to Merriman. Putting that one up. Swirled in, no good, and tipped out to Bettinger. Bettinger quickly back to Peters. Peters going to drive inside and lay it in against Heinen.
Need to have a little bit more help defense there. He was able to get around TJ Short, who wisely didn't foul, but somebody else has got to step up and stop him from getting that free shot.
Wohl with the basketball. He'll move off right, bounce pass to Short in the post. TJ backs him down, and a foul. We'll see who that's on. I believe it'll be on Peters. And it will. That's his second. And coming in is Redmond. He comes on for Bettinger, though. Peters getting an explanation from the referee on that foul. Pretty pleasant conversation as Short gets ready to get it in. Gets it into Heinen in the corner. He'll look to drive. Kick to Wohl for three. No good. Redmond the rebound. Now he'll bring it up. And he looks to go coast to coast. Lost the ball. Taken away. Oh, no, it's not. Still in the air. Basener's got it. Knocked up in the air again. And Vandewater has it. Here's the kick. The drive in. And got him with the body foul. That's going to be an and one for Iwu, and the foul's on Merriman.
And I'm not saying I had a better view than the official there, but it sure did look like Merriman's feet were planted.
That's Shane's second, first team foul of the half. R.J. Mahurin, the senior, makes the free throw, completes the three-point play, and brings it to a 6-point lead. Heinen looking to work against Vandewater. He'll go to Wohl. Hands it right back to Heinen. Did have some room, but does not take the shot. Kicks to Baster. In the corner, he was stepping on the end line.
Just again, not the play that we're used to seeing with Ryan Baser in his previous years at Huntington. Usually not the first one on the team to make a mistake like that, and unfortunately, a costly one there.
Alt back in for Baster. 16 and a half minutes to go in regulation. Iwu leading 44-38. Pass off to Peters, going against Alt, going inside and beating his man.
And Peters is driving as well as I've seen any player do it in a long time. He knows how to get to the basket.
Heinen on the near wing, looking to go baseline, and does. Kicks in the corner to Wohl, but it's off his hands, out of bounds. And Peterson will check in.
And it seems as though the Wildcats have survived that initial onslaught of the Foresters, and now they're attacking with a counter of their own.
They've gone on a 7-0 run to give them an 8-point lead. Here's Redmond. He'll lead the charge. Bounce pass to Mahurin. Back to Redmond, to Peters. Peters going to go up against Alt and got it off the glass.
And Peters is really giving Alt a hard time down, really driving to the basket. Alt having a hard time carrying him.
Looks like we'll see Pippinger check in. Here's Short. Gonna drive, kick in the corner. Heinen swings it to Alt for three. It's good. And that breaks the run. Peterson trying to get the up pass there, and somehow Mahurin RJ gets it in.
There's no other better way you can defend that. Alec Peterson had his hands right above the ball, and unfortunately he wasn't able to bring it down.
Bounce pass to Merriman. Back outside, Heinen will fake the pass to Short. Goes back to TJ, and he'll go back out with 15. Short drives, kicks in the corner. Alt around the horn for three, off to the left, no good. Short the rebound, turnaround jumper, left it short. Peterson puts it in.
And really a great rebound there by TJ Short, recognizing that short three-pointer and setting up that opportunity.
And now Iwu content to slow it down. Ball with Redmond. They'll go to Vandewater, top of the key. Timeout by Iwu. A 30-second timeout. Interesting call here, Caleb. Why do you suppose they called that timeout?
It was very interesting. Doesn't really feel like the momentum has swung back in the Foresters' favor. Of course, a really good possession there, but at the same time, it wasn't an incredibly well put together possession. It was a couple good rebounds that were able to give the Foresters the opportunity to score.
Should correct myself, that was a full timeout taken by IWU, and it's brought to you by HTV News. Timeout comes at 14:39 to play in the second half. 50-43, Foresters find themselves down by the halftime margin of 7. And really, Caleb, the Foresters offensively, until that last bucket put back in by Peterson, they have really struggled to try and get their offense going.
Right, they've done a better job not turning the ball over, but really just aren't getting themselves very good looks. Again, I think first and foremost, and I'm sure this is what they're trying to do, they need to get that ball in to Shane Merriman and get him involved in the offense.
Full timeout brought to you by HTV News, your source for the latest video coverage. Visit them at htvnews.net and follow them on Twitter at HTVnews_HU. So that now will take the place of the media timeout and will be IWU ball at 14:39 to go in the second half. I do want to mention that Greathouse is in along with Bubash for IWU. Also, Widener is back on the floor. Remember, Widener has 3 fouls. Inbounding from the sidelines is Redmond. Gets it to Widener. Widener will try and utilize the screen. Goes cross court. Peters left open again for 3. That one no good. But Peterson is there for the rebound.
Really nice job by
lucky.
Peterson boxing out, getting himself in a position to use that height advantage he has.
But again, the Foresters left a man open. That's not exactly what you want to see defensively. Here's Pippinger with it. He'll go to Short. Back to Heinen. Heinen eyeing down Peters. Goes to TJ. TJ looking for a screen. He'll get one, and Peterson puts up a 3 straight away and gets it.
Nice job by Peterson reading his teammate there and going up and setting up that high screen, allowing TJ to get separated from his man and get that shot away.
46-50. Foresters down by only 4. Ball in the hands of Greathouse. Swinging to Widener. Out to Bubash. Peters. Over to Redmond. Redmond gonna try and drive. That one lost the ball, and the putback by Peters.
And Peters is really killing the Foresters on offense right now. He's using his speed and really his ability to find really good shots when there's not very good opportunities. He's really killing us right now.
Back out to a 6-point lead. Heinen trying to work against Peters. Bounce pass to Merriman. Trying to back Bubash down. Turnaround on the way and good. That should have been a foul. There was a lot of contact.
It did.
Coach Platt urging his team to get back defensively. Here's a spin move. Pass knocked away. Underneath, the shot no good. Tipped out. And it will go off IWU. It was Bubash, I believe, trying to get the tip in, but it was knocked up and went off out of bounds, rather.
All right, a little bit of a glimmer of hope here for the Foresters. They seem to maybe a couple things going right for them. See if they can capitalize.
Daniel Wool back in. Pippinger takes a seat. And so too does Merriman. He's on the bench as well. Baster's in for him. Bounce pass to Short. There's the catch and shoot from Baster. That was a block. Look with the Foresters back on defense as Bettinger leading the charge. Dishes off to Peters. Peters to Widener. Now Widener content to hang on to it a bit. Goes to Bubash. Bettinger with it. Against Baster. Trying to go to Widener and does. Widener going to drive in on Short. Kick it back out. Greathouse. Drives in. Blocked by Peterson. His second of the day.
He blocked that one and grabbed the rebound. That's exactly what we need out of him, and he's really having a pretty good game.
12-10 to go in regulation. Pass to Heinen. Switch, and now Bubash defends after Peters goes to Wool. And a foul on Peters, I believe. And it is. That is team foul number 4. Both Mahurin brothers come in along with Vandewater. Greathouse, Peters, and Bubash check out.
And with Peters out, might give Huntington defense a little bit of a break. He's really been making them work hard with his speed, and he's really relentless on the offensive side of the ball.
Short to inbound. Finds Wool deep in the corner. Handoff back to Short for 3. It's good, and it's a 1-point game.
TJ Short never ceases to amaze me. Just a great job just reading that defense and setting up that play to get himself that shot.
Mahurin to Bettinger. He'll spot up just inside the three-point line. No good. Rebound Wool, and the Foresters can take the lead. 52-51, bounce pass to Wool. He'll go baseline, tries to dish it out, and TJ Short can't get that one.
Not what you want to do in that situation. Things are starting to go right. You don't want to throw the ball away needlessly. There's plenty of time on the shot clock. I appreciate the energy, but he really needs to just try to make good decisions and try to take advantage of that opportunity to score.
Alt back in for Baster. Wool will stay out there. Bettinger bringing it up. Heinen gives him plenty of space. Pass off to Widener. Widener with the screen. Does not go back door. Mahurin will spot up for a straightaway three. No good. Wool, the easy rebound. All white shirts around the basket.
Yeah, very interesting that there was no Wildcats fighting for that.
Here's Heinen just inside the timeline against Vandewater. He'll pass to Short. Screen set by Peterson, spotting up for three. It's good, and the Foresters back in front by 2.
A little bit of a deja vu there, calling Peterson up for the high screen and cashing in on that three-pointer. TJ Short's playing his heart out right now.
And the crowd back into this one. Mahurin back to Bettinger for three. He answers.
And how many times have we seen that? The Foresters have to get back on defense after big plays. That's killing them right now, and I know Ty Platt knows it, and it's really driving him crazy as well.
Should mention just a bit of a cleaner half. Only 14 fouls for Iwu, only 1 for the Foresters. Foresters still can take the lead. Here's Heinen. Reach-in foul. Who will they get on this one? I believe, Caleb, it may be Vandewater. It is. Let's see what that is on him. That's his second. And Baster's back in. So too is Peters for Widener. And Widener, I hate to say it, but he whiffed on that high five going back to the bench.
Yes, he did. The Foresters really used to playing desperate, playing high energy, coming from behind right now. And honestly, they can slow it up a little.
Knocked out of bounds by a Wildcat, but it looked like he almost carried the basketball. He lost a little bit of his touch.
Yes,
he faked the handoff to Short, and he may have had another chance at a three.
Like I said, down by 1 point. They have possession of the basketball. They can take their time. They don't have to be spastic.
Exactly. Here's Heinen going to Wool. They'll give it back to Heinen at the top of the key. Heinen going to try and drive in. Turnaround. Dish out to Wool. Wool going to drive to the hoop. Has to stop again and kick it out to Short to Heinen. That one was almost taken by Peters.
It was.
Heinen for three. He answers again. Oh my, we've got a shootout at Platt Arena. And lost it out of bounds to Mahurin.
Nice
it goes
job.
to the Foresters.
Strong defense by Peterson, not using his arms as he's done in the past. He did a great job shuffling his feet, getting in front of them, and forcing that turnover. Nice job by the players on the Foresters right now.
9:52 and counting to go in the second half. Foresters by 2, 57-55. A basket here would be great. Heinen defended by Vandewater, and again, they're taking their time. That's smart basketball. Double team on Short. Inside all alone. Baster, nice pump fake, and the Foresters lead it by 4.
And that's the Ryan Baster I know. Don't go up for it too soon. The smart pump fake gives them that easy shot.
Mahurin to Vandewater. Back to Bettinger. Inside, Mahurin blocked by Wool. Oh my, the freshman. Holy cow. Short for three. Yes! Timeout, Iwu, 62-55. This place is rocking. What a turnaround. Three-pointers have been the difference.
And TJ Short, what about him?
Wow. Timeout by Iwu. It's a full timeout, and it's brought to you by HTV News. They only have 2 remaining. The Foresters have 3.
And you know what's amazing is I just saw Shane Merriman get up to check in. He hasn't even been in this whole time. They've been doing this without their top scorer.
In 9:11 to go in the second half. Still plenty of time, Caleb. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But the fans have gotten back into this one, and that's what I think this team needs right now. They need support.
Yeah, and how could you not be back into this game? Just excellent plays. I can't say enough about TJ. You know he's one of my favorites. I talk about him all the time. He does a great job just playing at those intangibles, those things that the stat sheets don't recover. But tonight, he's lighting up the stat sheet, shooting like like somebody I've never seen before, and really just playing excellent heads-up basketball.
Full timeout brought to you by HTV News, your source for the latest video coverage. Visit them at htvnews.net. Should mention, Caleb, our Lady Foresters taking on IWU on the road tonight. We wish them the best of luck. Their game in progress right now. Unfortunately, we don't have a score for you, but we'll try and get you one before the broadcast is over. IWU ball out of the timeout. Down by 7 now.
And the HU student section standing on the bleachers. They're excited about this game now.
Here we go. It's Widener. Defended by Alt. And the crowd chanting for defense. Mahurin puts that one up. That's a charge on him. And it's Merriman taking it.
And really, you see, let's give a shout out to Daniel Wool diving after the basketball. He is the most relentless player I've ever seen, and I love it. The crowd loves it. Really just a complete turnaround here for the Foresters.
That's the first foul on R.J. Mahurin. 16th foul. One more, and the Foresters are in the bonus, Caleb. That is important.
There's still plenty of time left in this basketball game for them to get some free throws.
IWU backs off the full court pressure. Heinen has an option, finds Short just across the stripe. TJ goes back to Heinen. Defended very tightly by Vandewater. Goes to Baster. Guarded by Peters. Finds Wool. Nobody right against the basket, and he almost had Baster. That was a great look, but Baster was just a bit behind that pass.
Yep, and nobody knows about that mistake more than Daniel Wool. He knows that he made a mistake, and you know what? He's that kind of player that if he makes a mistake like that, he'll bounce right back. Watch him on defense right now.
And again, Baster is checked out for Alt. Here's Widener. Goes to Bubash, to Peters. He'll go back to Widener. Swinging to Bubash. Vandewater now with it. Knocked away by Daniel Wool, but it's in the hands of Peters. He'll try and go. High off the glass, no good. Blocked again by Daniel Wool. And Alt tried to get it out of bounds.
Well, I'm not quite sure how that happened.
He must have had a foot on the end line. Couldn't have the greatest view from down here.
Right.
Now the referee's conferencing here at the far or left near corner, and they're resetting the shot clock.
Wow.
The inbound goes to Peters. He's left open for 3. Too strong. Heinen the rebound.
Nice job by Derek Heinen. He saw that rebound and he went in and fought for it. Don't leave it to the bigger guys. Get it yourself. I like that attitude.
Heinen against Vandewater. He's going to go coast to coast. Couldn't lay it in. Ball knocked up and taken by Widener. Widener 1-on-2 to the basket. Reach in on Wool.
Yep.
And that is his 4th.
Well, like I said, Daniel Wool, yeah, sure, he's made his share of mistakes, just like all the Foresters here, but he's just fought hard. And, you know, I really like the effort. Everybody here likes the effort.
Right here now, though, do you keep him in? Well, it looks like we're going to get that answer. Peterson looks to check in.
Yeah, I think under the conditions, you know, Peterson's playing a pretty good game tonight. Let him get in, let him work a little bit of his magic, and then maybe Daniel Wool can get an appearance later on. Widener
hits the first. 2 subs, as we mentioned, Baster and Peterson on for Wool and Alt. 62-56. Widener with one more free throw to come at the stripe. Second one on the way and pure for Widener. Inbound goes to Heinen, and again the Foresters have to take it slow at this point. It's guarded tightly though by Vandewater. He's going to have to make a move. Pass goes to Short. Now TJ gonna drive, puts up the runner and got it to go.
And I tell you what, he has all the confidence in the world right now. He knows that when he puts the ball up, it's going in the basket.
Widener goes to Mahurin, to Vandewater. Back to Bubash. Bubash gonna drive on Peterson. He got another one. That's number 3. And a smart pass by Peterson.
He's just doing an excellent job right now. Not getting too energetic, not overplaying, just playing his game to the best of his ability.
Short tried to dish it away, but swatted by Widener. There's the tip up again, but somehow Vandewater got it. Widener left open for 3, a skyrocket too strong, but Mahurin the rebound. Here's the kick out to Peters. Widener left open again for 3. He buries it. And it's a 4-point game, 64-60.
And throughout that defensive possession, just a little bit of confusion. They weren't able to get their defense set, and unfortunately an open shot was able to fall in.
Heinen, again met by Vandewater. He'll go off to Baster. Has a screen and uses it. He'll spin back to his right. Trying to reset the play. Bounce pass to Peterson. Peterson will go back out to Heinen. 10 on the shot clock. Heinen with a screen. Trying to go against Vandewater. 4. Puts it up. Turnaround jumper, no good. Tip up, no good. But Baster's there, and he's back out to the perimeter. Smart play by Baster. That resets the shot clock, and so too will the offense. Screen by Peterson. Heinen still with the ball. Has to go back out. Merriman just got that pass. Here's Short with it, and an offensive foul going the other way. That's on Merriman. Third foul on Shane. Baster out, Alt in. Bubash is out. And so too is RJ Mahurin. Peters is in, along with his younger brother Lane, number 23.
And Shane might have hurt himself. He looks like he's maybe walking with a little bit of a limp.
He's out right now. Wool is back in with those 4 fouls. Peters slowly bringing it up for Iwu. Pass off to Widener. Widener looking for movement, finds Vandewater. Vandewater kicks in the corner, around back to Mahurin. To his younger brother Mahurin. This time it's Lane, dishing to Vandewater. Back out to Mahurin. Looked like Heinen just fell over. Now Mahurin will try and drive. Blocked again by Peterson. The right to his older brother, and he got it to go off the back iron.
And really, you can't ask any more of Peterson. Doing a good job blocking and trying to tip that ball out. Most of the time it's going to go to your teammates, but unfortunately it didn't.
Heinen will go to Wool, and a timeout taken by Platt. It'll be a full timeout. It's brought to you by HTV News, and Ryan Baster will check in again. 5:11 to play, second half.
Shane Merriman getting looked at by the trainer right now. They might just be rubbing out some cramps. It's hard to tell from this angle, but really we'd like to have him back in with 5 minutes left to go.
I think I saw him earlier, Caleb, when he was coming out. He was getting some work done, I think, to the same leg. It may, like you said, it may just be cramps, but let's hope he can get back into this game. The Foresters need him. 64-62. Foresters ahead by only 2 points. And they've been up as many as 10 and really tried to stretch it out to about 7 here in the second half. But Iwu continues to fight back.
I think they're starting to get in the mode where they're playing like they're ahead, and they need to continue to do that. Take it nice and slow, get themselves good opportunities. Don't rush it, because when you rush, you make mistakes.
Full timeout brought to you by HTV News, your source for the latest video coverage. Visit them at htvnews.net. Forster ball out of the timeout. They also have 2 remaining. So too does Iwu. And Baster will inbound. We talked about the very first possession being important. Now we see another one for the Foresters to try and get up by 2 possessions.
Right, you want to keep that kind of buffer. You don't want to give the other team a glimmer of hope to take the lead. So this is very important that they score a basket here.
Heinen finds Wool across the timeline, and he'll find back to Baster. Still plenty of time for the Foresters on the shot clock, 15. Baster to Short. Short back to Baster, swinging to Wool. Wool gonna drive, fadeaway jumper, no good. Peterson there, puts it back in.
Very nice, safe shot to take when you have Alec Peterson down underneath the low post, and he was able to get that rebound and turn it into 2 points. Excellent game for Peterson.
Widener driving it, blocked by Peterson.
And mark him down for another one. We didn't start getting the tally mark out here.
We have not seen a better game out of Alec Peterson yet. This, my friends, is his coming out party. Wool back to Baster. Back out to Heinen, and they'll slow it down again. Here's Heinen using a screen, driving, no shot. It's 1-1 though, as Heinen will be at the free throw line. That's team foul number 7.
And this is huge now that the Forcers are in the bonus. We saw they didn't get very many free throw opportunities earlier on in the game.
They got none in the first half.
Nothing in the first half. If they can start getting some to close out this game, that's huge. And they only have 3 team fouls on their own.
Alt back in for Baster. I believe what Coach Platt's doing with that sub, Caleb, maybe subbing offense off, defense on.
And he very well may be.
And Heinen misses back to the right. Mahurin the rebound, and he got it to Widener. Quickly, Daniel Wool trying to catch up. Pass into Mahurin. That one knocked away. The younger Mahurin misses it, and Peterson squeezes the orange.
I think Wool thought he was fouled there on the other end, and he looks like he's looking at his elbow a little bit. He took a hard fall.
Here's Wool. He'll control the ball, go to Alt. Pass goes to Short, defended by Peters. That's a little bit of a mismatch. As Wool gets the pass from Short. Right back to TJ and swing it to Heinen. Right back out near the timeline with 10 on the shot clock. Heinen drives. A foul.
And he'll be shooting the one in bonus again.
Heinen's got to make this one. Let's see who the foul is on. It's on Vandewater. That's his 3rd.
And good news for Forster fans. Shane Merriman's coming back in.
He's coming back in for Wool. It looks like he is still favoring that leg, though, Caleb. How effective is he going to be? He's already back in the backcourt, ready to play defense.
If I know Shane Merriman, something like that's not going to stop him.
First free throw good from Heinen. It's a 5-point lead. 3:37 to play, second half, and the Foresters lead it in Platt Arena. Heinen with his 2nd free throw attempt. On the way, good. 6-point lead, 68-62. And Widener will bring it up. Alt staring him dead in the eye, ready to play defense. And the crowd urging the defense as well. Here's the younger Mahurin trying to go on Merriman. Spinning out, goes back to his older brother. CJ, is that a travel? No, it's going to be a foul. It's going to be a foul. That's only the 4th team foul, so not a bad foul to give, but it will be on the floor.
Not quite sure what's going on there.
That's the 4th foul on Peterson. They're saying it's a shooting foul. That'll put RJ Mahurin at the line for free throws. A 62.5% free throw shooter. First one on the way. Swirls in.
It looks like Peterson will stay in the game. I think they really need him, especially defensively. He's blocked almost every other possession in the last few here.
Down to a 5-point lead for Huntington. Forster's got to box out and get that rebound if it's missed. Second one is good. Down to 4.
Still a 2-possession game.
Another basket is crucial here. Heinen does not cross the timeline. He still has to get across, though. And he gets Shane. Right back to Heinen. Smart play, and they'll slow it down. This is what they need at this point. Pass to Baster. Defended by Peters. They'll go back to Heinen. 14 on the shot clock. Heinen against Vandewater. Seen that matchup all night long. Heinen gonna drive in, put it up, and it's a charge.
Really, not very many calls going the Foresters' way this afternoon, unfortunately.
That's the first foul against Heinen. The 5th team foul. Baster's out again.
Coach Platt is fit to be tied.
And a warning given to Ty Platt.
Can't blame him for being angry about it.
I'm going to let you take over the opinion section, Caleb. I'm going to stay out of it for now.
Well, I better stay out of it too before I get myself in trouble, but let's just say I sympathize with Coach Platt right now.
Widener in the corner to Peters. Peters will go baseline. Goes out to Mahurin. But he passes it off to Vandewater. Vandewater back to RJ Mahurin. And a foul on the wrist. Daniel Wool's even getting a little bit upset. That's the 6th team foul. It will be an inbound for the Wildcats.
And this normally friendly Forester crowd is really becoming more and more hostile right now. They're not liking the way this game's being officiated.
Peters spots up for 3. That one no good. Rebound Alt. And the Foresters will slow it. Heinen working off to the left. He's inside the timeline. Now backing it out goes to Alt. Alt bounce pass to base or to Peterson. Oh, with the lay-in! Wow, what a cut!
What an excellent dish by Alec Peterson finding that open man.
Quickly up to Mahurin, a 3-ball on the way, no good. Ball tipped up, Peters the rebound. He'll put it back up and lay it in. 70-66, timeout by Iwu, I believe. And Mahurin took quite a shot there from Peterson. I'm surprised that Peterson didn't get called for his last foul.
Yeah, I'm surprised as well, but we're thankful that he gets to stay out there.
It's a full timeout, leaving Iwu with 1 remaining. Full timeout brought to you by HTV News. 1:51 to go, Caleb, and we're in for a barn burner.
We are. And I'm just catching my breath right now. It's almost too much to call right now. Just all sorts of things going on with calls made by the officials and back and forth basketball between these two teams. Man, this is a great game.
I'm glad I have a pen so I can toss it up in the air. That way I'm not getting myself in trouble.
Oh, I know what you mean.
I will say one thing, though. The calls have been questionable. They have been kind of questionable both ways, though. That's all you can say.
They have. And like we mentioned, Alec Peterson may have gotten away with a big one there. And had that foul been called on Peterson.
3 free throws.
Yeah, and he had been out of the game, too, which would have been really huge the way he's playing right now. So, you know, at least they're going both ways, like you mentioned.
It is Forester ball. Again, this timeout brought to you by HTV News, your source for the latest video coverage. Excuse me. Visit them at htvnews.net. Baster back in. Shane's ready to go. Just adjusting something on his left leg. He's ready to go, and Iwu will bring full court pressure. Baster can move along the baseline. He gets it into short, and it's right back to Baster. Baster will be met by Widener. Dishes off to Heinen. Heinen trapped.
It's out.
He'll try and break it. Finds Peterson. He's all alone. And now he'll have to dish it back out. But that, honestly, Caleb, that may be a good thing for the Foresters.
Honestly, I think that was a very mature decision by Peterson. He could have gone up for it, but he wasn't completely uncontested, and it's best to burn some time.
Baster fading away. It's good. 1:20 to play. Foresters by 6, 72-66.
And that is a dagger.
It's not a dagger yet. Still 1:10 to play. Widener left open for 3, and he drains it.
Well, you mentioned it. Not a dagger yet. Defensive mismatch, and that three-pointer all of a sudden is erased.
3-point game. 56 seconds to go. And he is across, just barely beat that 10-second violation. Bounce pass to short. A basket by the Foresters could seal it. Baster goes to Heinen. 10 on the shot clock. Screen by Peterson. Heinen.
Get back to Baster.
Hester goes to Baster. Ball is loose. Putting it back up, that's a shot clock violation. It was blocked away by Mahurin. 29.1 to go. Now Alt is back in.
If anything, they were able to burn a lot of clock there, but you really want to get a shot. As you mentioned, making it a 2-possession game again would be very big.
Here's the thing, a 3-ball ties it up, Caleb, and the Wildcats may try and use all of this clock and go for a last second trying to tie it.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting call. Looks like they're going to talk it over right now and try to decide what they're going to do.
Coach Platt took a timeout, probably a smart move there. We'll see what kind of timeout it is. I believe it's a full. It is a full timeout brought to you by HTV News. 29.1 on the clock, 72-69. And if Widener gets that open again, he may just try and tie this game up.
Yeah, I imagine that's probably what he'll do. They have 8 team fouls, so the Foresters will be shooting the bonus if they get fouled. You want to leave the game and the opportunity of your own players. You don't want to have to make it based on, you know, the other team shooting free throws if you don't have to. I think they'll go for the 3-ball right here in the game.
The thing is, though, the Foresters, they're at 16 fouls right now. The next one would put IWU in the bonus. What, if any, kind of advantage does that give them?
Well, I think it's a huge advantage because if they can get a quick foul on the floor, you know, then all of a sudden they can only get 2 shots at the very worst. And, you know,
at the very worst, they could only have 1 as well.
Right, exactly. So I think you might see them possibly do that. It's definitely a possibility. They're going to want to just play good defense, but if they get themselves into a desperate situation, they will.
Full timeout brought to you by HTV News, your source for the latest video coverage. IWU ball out of the timeout by Coach Platt. Both teams with 1 remaining. 29.1 to go. Another classic in the Platt. Vandewater gets it to Widener. He's the guy to watch for the Wildcats. Widener, it's a screen, switched by the Foresters. The lane missed. Wool missed it. Wool gets the rebound, and TJ Short has it. Pass off to Heinen, and TJ's fouled.
Wow. What more can you say about that? You have one of the better players in the country get it an open look, and he misses the layup.
Fouls on Peters. That is his 4th, and TJ's at the line for a 1-and-1. Baster will come in for Alt again.
And this first shot, very important. He doesn't get another one if he misses. He needs to make this a 2-possession game.
The first one makes it 2 possessions. The second almost seals it up, I think, Caleb. Because, honestly, let's put all the extremes out there.
Right.
Let's say IWU hits a 3, they get fouled. They may actually tie it up.
Right.
Short misses it. Mahurin the rebound. And the foul by Vandewater. Or foul on Vandewater, it's by Wool, he's fouled out.
And that's something that you mentioned. I think that was the good call. Couple really down by 3. Unfortunately, the worst thing that happens there is we lose Daniel Wool.
But you gain Alec Peterson on the floor. Again, if the free throw is missed and Huntington gets the rebound, it could be over.
And we saw,
but even here, it's only 2 shots.
Right. The rebound is the key here, and Alec Peterson's in to try to pull it down.
Vandewater on the way. Got it.
And they're going to have to watch the rebound. If this shot goes in, but you might watch him a forced miss here to try to get themselves the ball back.
That's true. The second one missed. Rebounded by Heinen, and he's fouled. That will be 2 shots for him. And he's got to hit them both.
Yes, he does. And
still plenty of time left.
That was a forced miss or not. It did come off the front rim, but Derek Heinen was Johnny on the spot, grabbing that rebound, and now the game's in his hands.
He's done that a lot in this game, Caleb. He has been getting a lot of defensive rebounds. He just got a dead ball rebound there, and now he has a chance to try and ice it. Foul was against Vandewater. That is his 4th. Heinen's first. Good.
And
Alt back in for defense.
What can we say about this freshman? He plays with the poise of somebody
an
much
upperclassman.
older. Yes, he does. He does.
He'll have one more. Heinen. Too strong. Rebound. Goes to Mahurin. 4 on the shot clock. A timeout taken by IWU with 3.2.
Well, they must not have liked that.
Must not have. It was a bad shot. Didn't go in. And that leaves IWU with no timeouts left. 3.2 on the clock. They still have a chance to tie, Caleb. I would expect a lot of ball screening.
Yeah, I would expect so too. They're going to want to get it to their top scorers. Maybe not Widener, as we saw that he missed earlier with the game on the line. He took that shot and wasn't able to come up with a pretty easy layup. They might not give him that opportunity. Really, Peters has been playing quite well. Had a couple nice threes on the day. They might try to go to him.
Full timeout was taken by IWU. It's brought to you by HTV News, your source for the latest video coverage. Visit them at htvnews.net and also follow them on Twitter at HTVnews_HU. And let's reset. 3.2 to play and a 3-point lead for the Foresters. They're looking for their first home win against IWU since 2011. That was back when we were freshmen, Caleb.
That was.
We got to get us a win.
Yep.
It'll be a bookend year if that happens, right?
That would be. And everybody wants to see it here. Very enthusiastic and full crowd tonight.
Now still, there's a lot of time for dribbling. Probably take a good 3 or 4 dribbles here if you're IWU.
Yes, you can. It's not. They got plenty of time here. You might even look to see the Foresters foul. They did it again.
Exactly, yeah.
It'd be 2 shots.
That's a good point.
I'm sorry. It'd just be 1 in bonus again.
Now Peterson will guard the inbounder, and it is Peters. Peterson jumping up and down into Widener. Contested shot, swirled in with .4. And that ties it up. We're going to overtime.
Well, shows how much I know. I said they might not go back to him, and unfortunately, he hit it in the clutch.
Referees conferencing here at half court. I don't imagine it'll be anything major. This is going to overtime. 73 all.
Well, I tell you what, that let the air out of the...
Now the Foresters maybe given an extra timeout, and they will. Both teams get 1 timeout per overtime period. Got to give credit to the fans, though. They're still sticking it out here in overtime as we're tied at 73 as Widener hits a 3-pointer fading away in the corner with .4 seconds to go.
And really, the Foresters couldn't have done much more against that. Peterson did a nice job guarding the inbound. Merriman was right on Weidman. Wasn't able to bring it in.
Here's the interesting thing, though. The team foul situation does not change.
It doesn't.
So the Foresters are in the double bonus for the rest of this overtime period. The Wildcats are in the single bonus right now.
And the Foresters need to keep it that way.
We will have a jump at half court. Peterson will jump for the Foresters. Peterson will jump with the elder Mahurin, RJ. This is it. 5 minutes to decide it. The tip. A very deep one. It goes to IWU in the corner. Vandewater to Peters. Bettinger to Mahurin. Back to Widener. Widener going to try and drive. Lost the ball.
Yeah,
Mahurin now with it. Shot put up. Count that and the foul. Baster will check in. And a technical on Huntington. It goes against Coach Platt. Peterson is fouled out. That puts Widener at the line for the technical shot.
And I tell you what, I'm not saying anything about my current attitude right now, but the officials better be careful coming out because this is a very hostile crowd right now.
There will be an and 1 free throw along with these technical shots.
And a big loss, Alec Peterson.
So the question is now, who will come in for him?
Well, I imagine it might be Pippinger.
Might be Baster right now. Dewitt already checked in, so he will come on now. Again, Widener will have 2 technical foul shots. First one on the way, that one swirls in. It should be 76-73. Second one on the way for Widener, good as well. 77. And now they will get the and 1 free throw from Mahurin.
And again, just what can you say?
Mahurin with the and one on the way and connects. And right out, only about 18 seconds in, it's a 5-point lead for IWU. Here's Heinen. He'll spot up for three. That one no good.
Don't know if I agree with that call. You don't want to do that too early. You still got plenty of time.
And now Widener controls the ball. He'll be defended by Alt. Looks for a screen, gets one from Mahurin. Switch now, Short defends him. Around the horn to Lane Mahurin. Peters to Vandewater. In the corner, it's Mahurin to Widener. Widener backing it out with 7 on the shot clock. Spinning in and laying it up with the left hand.
And just like that, the Foresters find themselves in a big hole.
Here's Heinen. He'll go to Short. In the corner, it's Baster. Baster to Alt. Alt's gonna spin move, drive in, high off the glass, no good. Ball knocked loose. There's Short for three. Left, it may have been partially blocked.
I believe that it was.
And just like that, IWU gets it back in their own end with 3:30 to play in overtime. Peters to Vandewater, top of the key. Peters now with it. Goes to Widener, back out to the timeline with 10 on the shot clock. Widener has 2 screens. 5 on the shot clock. Vandewater for 3, no good. Heinen the rebound.
Still plenty of time, but they need to get something going now.
Heinen had it blocked away and saved by IWU.
It's not what they need.
Heinen was unmatched, 1 on 4, I believe, on the other end. Widener bounce pass off to Peters. Inside to Mahurin. Has to kick that one back out. His older brother saves it, gives it to Vandewater. Back to Widener. Widener puts it up for 3. That one too strong. Ball knocked up, and that's going to be an offensive board. It's Vandewater again.
And I tell you what, Merriman is not looking good out there. He is really, looks like he's in a lot of pain, and he's not moving very well.
Widener going to back it out to the timeline with 20. Defended by Heinen. He'll take it down to under 2 minutes. Pass to Mahurin. Going against Merriman, stripped away by Baster. Baster speeding over everybody, lays it in. Timeout by Huntington.
And he did a nice job outrunning his man there. And I don't know if Shane's going to be able to play anymore.
Oh, he does look bad here, Caleb. He's limping pretty bad here coming to the sideline.
He's a tough kid, but
this timeout may be what he needs.
Yeah, I might. It looks like he's going to meet up with the trainer over there on the sideline.
Full timeout brought to you by HTV News. 1:53 to go in overtime. 80-75, IWU in front.
And don't count him out yet.
Both teams now with 1 timeout left. Huntington had 2 to begin the overtime period. Now both teams in the double bonus as well. We did see Drew Benedict looking to check in after the next stoppage, and he'll come in, I would assume, after this timeout.
Unfortunately,
go ahead
with what you're going to say.
I was going to say this timeout brought to you by HTV News, your source for the latest video coverage. Go ahead and finish your thought there, Caleb.
Well, with Alec Peterson fouled out of the game, Daniel Wolf fouled out of the game, and it looks like Shane Merriman's really still struggling with some sort of injury. We're not sure the details of which right now, but the Foresters are going to be forced to go in with a smaller lineup. That might be tricky on the defensive end of the basketball in particular.
Benedict has come on for Merriman. This is actually his first action of the game. He didn't see any time in regulation.
And at 6'5", TJ Short's the tallest Forester player out there right now.
It's IWU ball. They will inbound, and it goes to Peters, and he will bring it up. Baster defends as the pass goes to Vandewater. Looks to go into Widener. That one put up, missed the layup, tipped up, Mahurin got the rebound. Peters puts it back up, and a foul. That's going to go on Heinen.
And definitely a little bit of frustration there as they weren't able to pull the rebound down with that small lineup they have on the floor right now. And
second on Derek.
A frustration foul from Heinen.
Peters at the line for 2. First one on the way, good. Peters second. Up and good as well. Now coming in is Bubash for R.J. Mahurin. Alt will inbound, and the full court pressure coming from Iwu. Goes to TJ, and he'll hand to Heinen. Heinen going to have to try and push this. Heinen going to drive in, goes all the way, could not get the layup, and the rebound Vandewater.
And there's nothing seeming to be going right for the Foresters now.
They've only managed 2 points in OT. 82-75. That one out of bounds. Goes off of Baster. There will be Wildcat ball.
And at this point, when the Foresters get the ball back, they really need to go to TJ. He's been really the spark for this whole game, and if anybody's going to get him back into this game, it's going to have to be him.
Widener goes to Bettinger. And triple teaming him, but out to Widener with 10 on the shot clock. Widener to Peters. Peters going to drive in, put it up right hand and good.
And this is not looking good.
9-point lead for Iwu. Heinen will go to Baster. He'll take it in, draws the foul. That's on Vandewater, his 5th, I believe. He's out. That is it. He's done. And it may be too little too late with 43.9. And Mahurin will check in for him, I believe. Looks like Iwu may need another sub, and they will get 23. Lane Mahurin. So both Mahurin brothers coming back on. Two shots for Baster. First one on and no good, off to the right.
And I'm eavesdropping in on the conversation between Coach Pat and the official. He still wants an explanation for that technical foul, that very controversial foul that really set the tone for the rest of this overtime.
Second one good from Baster, 84-76. Inbound to Mahurin. He'll get it off to Widener, and he's fouled by Baster. And I believe that is Baster's 4th. Foul comes at 40.4 to go in overtime. And unfortunately, some of the fans making their way toward the exits.
Jordan Widener at the line for Indiana Wesleyan.
And it looks like we'll see at this point a lot of fouling, trying to get the ball into the three-point shooters. Unfortunately, Huntington does have a bunch of them. TJ Short, Ryan Baster, Drew Benedict's in right now. And the other two, Tyler Alt and Derek Heinen, have hit at least one apiece today.
85-76, and Widener makes it a 10-point lead. Heinen gets the quick inbound, and he's looking to hurry. He'll go ahead and drive in, draws another foul. And it's on Bubash. Bubash is second, and Heinen again at the line for 2.
That's his second. Darren Heinen at the line for Huntington.
35.6 seconds to play. First one up, rattled in and out for Heinen. Mahurin back on for Bubash. Heinen with one more free throw, trying to make it a 9-point game. On the way and good. Inbound, gets into Peters, and a foul on Baster. He is now fouled out. And that means Kyle Pippinger will check in. Bubash looks like he'll also check in.
Number 34, Bob Peters at the line for Indiana Wesleyan.
Peters with 2 free throws. First one is up, no good, off to the left. And Bubash in defensively, comes on for RJ Mahurin. Second one on the way. That one rattles in, makes it a 10-point game. Here comes Heinen. He's got to work quick. Finds Benedict. He'll put one up deep. That one no good. Rebound Widener. And the quick pass goes up to Bubash. And he's going to lay that one in. 12-point lead for Iwu. Pippinger. He's going to spot up for a long two. That one's no good. Rebound Widener, and this one is over. And Bettinger will hold on to the basketball for the last 2 seconds. And the Foresters go down in overtime, 89-77.
I tell you what, there couldn't be a more bitter taste in the mouth of these fans today right now, the way that game went. But let's give some credit to our players. They played their hearts out. Say what you will about the game. They played well. They could have very easily won this game had things gone a little bit differently.
We'll take a break. We'll be back with a post-game wrap-up. And quite honestly, I do not expect Coach Platt to be over here, and I could not blame him for that.
No, I don't blame him either.
Well, we'll take a break. Be back with Forster on Forster Live on YouTube and 105.5 Fuse FM. Back inside Platte Arena, your final score 89-77. Indiana Wesleyan getting the win in overtime against the Huntington Foresters, who now dropped to 4-1 in the Crossroads League. Iowa improves to 3-2. We're going to take a look at a lot of these stats, Caleb. You had Peters off the bench for Iowa with 22 points. R.J. Mahern with 19 and 10. Widener had 22, including that tying 3-ball. And Coach Platt is here right now. Coach, honestly, your team put up one heck of an effort today. It seemed it was back and forth all game. The only thing that really mattered was that overtime period.
Well, the other thing that mattered is the 24 turnovers that we had that were not very good, and then we gave up 14 offensive rebounds, which weren't very good. Those are the two telling statistics. We didn't execute what we wanted to do there at the very end of the regulation. Even though we didn't execute it, that's a huge shot for him to hit the deep in the corner right there. But we can play with anybody. We just got to be able to shut the door and compete for the entire time. And I thought we did compete hard, and we battled through some stuff. And while Indiana Wesleyan is a good team, it's not like they're the super elite team or something. We know we can play with them, and we can perform, but we can certainly perform a lot better than we did tonight.
Man, you guys did not really get to the free throw line at all much either. Was that really your game coming in? Because you did use a lot of your three-pointers today.
No, the game plan was to definitely get to the foul line as much as we could. Evidently, we didn't draw some fouls that we thought that we did, but it's one of these things where you got to play physical and you got to play tough and play through a lot of things, and we didn't handle that very well at times, but yet we did at other times. So I guess if you're a fan, it was a good ball game to be at, but it certainly hurts hard to lose these.
And you got to put this game behind you. You have Goshen on Saturday. Should be a good game for your team. What are you looking to improve on for that contest?
Probably everything. I mean, in terms of not turning the ball over and blocking people out, not letting them get second shot opportunities. I don't know anything about Goshen just yet because I was so focused on Wesleyan, but I'm sure they'll play hard, and they beat Grace at their place, so I'm sure they feel like they can beat anybody, like everybody should in this conference, and we'll see what happens on Saturday and try to somehow get some rest tonight. I mean, I don't know who's all going to sleep, but it's not going to be me after that. But we just got to refocus and come back tomorrow and get ready for Goshen, like you said, because there's still lots and lots of basketball to go.
Thank you for your time, Coach, and good luck Saturday.
Thank you very much.
Again, this is a very tough game, Caleb. Again, both teams, they came out playing very well. And, yeah, you can say there were questionable things, but in the end, Iowa really just outplayed the Foresters in that overtime period.
They did, and Huntington seems to have lost their composure a little bit with that big 5-point possession that Indiana Wesleyan had to start off overtime. And they definitely could have hung in there. But looking at the positives, had an excellent game from TJ Short, especially offensively, and really just in all areas of the game. Did excellent. And then also a breakout game for Alec Peterson. Just excellent job. Several blocks. How much did he end up with?
And that's going to...
just a bunch. I mean, he just played incredibly well.
Yeah, at 5. 10 points off the bench, 9 rebounds, almost a double-double.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with him. I expect this out of him every time now.
Right, and I think we should. I think he's shown that he can play to this level, and I think he wants to play to this level. So there were still some good things to extract from this game. Say what you will about what happened, but, we play him again.
We do,
so.
And we play them at their place, and hopefully we can beat them in their own building. That'd be nice.
I definitely think it can happen based on what I saw today.
So that's going to do it for us. Our next broadcast, first of all, let's get to our next game. As the men's Foresters, they take on Goshen again, as we mentioned. That is here inside Platt Arena Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock. Be sure to join us on Forester Live on YouTube and on 105.5 Fuse FM. As, again, Goshen, a 4-12 team, but they are 1-3 in conference. They got to win on the road at Grace, who's an 8-7 team coming into today. So it should be an exciting matchup to watch.
Right, like Coach Platt mentioned, really every team in Crossroads can beat every other team in Crossroads, so there's never going to be a boring game.
So that's going to do it for us. For all of our great crew put in such an outstanding effort as they do every single broadcast. For our director, Brooks Hooley, for Caleb Overfelt, I'm Eric Banton saying so long from Platt Arena. Join us Saturday afternoon here on Forester Live on YouTube and 105.5 Fuse FM as the Foresters take on Goshen. Good night.